Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Clay again. I got cut off from my phone camera. I guess there's a limited amount of time, and I didn't think I'd be rambling on as much as I did. But when I enjoy something a lot, I tend to ramble. So that's just me. What I was, what I left off with was all the. There are a lot of missed opportunities for relationships in Power Rangers, and I think Lost Galaxy has the most. Like Kai and that girl Hannah, they started off really strong, and there was a misinterpretation where he thought that she was engaged. It turns out that was her sister's fiance, who he saved, and so they could have been a thing throughout the season. Kept bringing her back, but they didn't, and they could have put Leo and Kendricks together. They were a good match. Leo and Carone were a good match. And Maya could have been a good match. Just a lot of things that should have happened but didn't. It's disappointing, but it's still a great season overall. I thoroughly enjoy it. And by the way, speaking of Carone, I can't even say enough about how I'm proud of her I was when she came onto the scene. Her time on Lost Galaxy was short lived, but it was necessary. She came full circle from being a full villain who was ready to take over the world, and now she's helping save the universe. So this was great for. So this was great, full circle kind of thing for her to just for her character to grow. She got to come back in Megaforce to reunion with so many other great legendary Rangers. Even though the fight only lasted for about 10 minutes, even less than that, but beggars can't be choosers, right? Anyway, oh, Mike, who turns out was not dead, but living in the spirit of the Magna Defender, who was just. I get. Well, I don't know what it's like to lose a child. So I imagine I'd be pretty angry and looking for revenge myself. Because even my family members, anybody mess with my family, you know what time it is. But yeah, he just had a bad attitude towards everybody, towards the Rangers. Didn't care who he hurt as long as he got his revenge. That was just like that's not even okay. That's not even remotely okay. So like, don't act like you're doing this for your son because your son wouldn't want you hurting innocent people. But turns out Mike was in. He had used Mike's spirit to get out of the cave that he was trapped in for 3,000 years, and when he sacrificed himself to save the colony, Mike came back, and it's like he was an interesting enough character. I'm just glad that they didn't kill him off. I mean, like it was the first time we had like siblings working together in the same team, even though technically Man Defender is not a ranger. Ranger. He still was an exceptional part of the team, a very valuable part of the team. And even though it was kind of disappointing that he didn't make it all the way to the end to fight with the other Rangers, the ending was the Mike's ending as the Magna Defender was very valiant and brave, and another sense of sacrifice because he almost died trying to keep that wormhole open so that Terra Venture could get out of the Lost Galaxy and back into their own solar system, to our solar system, the one we know about. And that would have been the second time that Leo had to deal with possibly losing his brother. And it's like, there's no. I was almost like, there's no way he survived this time. But he did. By Power Ranger, again, Power Ranger logic. But it's okay. I like Mike, so I'm glad he survived. Um, but all in all, good season. Really good season. A lot of dealing with sacrifice. And now, my ties for my number one, my two number one favorite Power Rangers seasons of all time is Power Rangers Time Force and Power Rangers in Space. Space. These are my two favorite seasons. I never get tired of watching them. I never just stop loving these characters. Of the development in Space was the first time we got some real plot point, some real development within. People say like Turbo was a bad season, but it had a great finale. Like you kind of gotten used to the secondary Rangers that took the place of Tommy, Kat, Tanya, and Adam. Uh, I don't know how you feel about how you felt about Justin. If you were sad that he didn't go with them into space, but I couldn't be more relieved because I was sick of him. One season was more than enough. And but I liked TJ, Cassie, Ashley, and Carlos. I gravitated to them immediately. There was some new blood, new fresh faces, and I just really think they just captured into the roles of being in space, even though this is something they've never had to deal with before. And and it's just like, what's gonna happen? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, the command center is destroyed. How are they gonna find and save Zordon from Divatox or whoever has him from without any powers? But they were going. They were hell bent on it, even though technically they only met Zordon once. I mean, Zordon had already left, and Demetria had been the primary leader for Turbo. And he only came back to do the transfer of power for the old Rangers' farewell. And so it was kind of interesting to see how invested they were in saving him, but it is what they do. And they didn't explain how Andros knew him, but you know, again with the plot point. But Andros was an interesting ranger. He was not born on Earth. He was a complete fish out of water on Earth. So it's like he didn't even know what a surfboard was. He was from a space colony called KO-35. He was really standoffish in the beginning. And it was kind of almost like, again, with first impressions, like Sky and Theo, and so like, you're so rude for no reason, and nobody's gonna like you if you're acting like that. You don't have to act like that. And in a way, I get it, because he had a partner, the first ever Silver Ranger named Zane, who is his best friend, but was attacked when KO-35 was just going through hell and back, and left for dead, and ended up in a coma for 2 years. So I guess I get why he's a little on the fence by letting people get close, because he watched his best friend almost die, and that's a hard pill to swallow. Something not easily to get over. But yeah, he ended up being a really cool ranger. Red Ranger. He was the first ranger to get a battleizer, and that was awesome. And it was just like the team really ended up meshing well together. Zane was awesome. I got to meet Zane also. He is he looks exactly the same for the first of all, and he's really cool. He's really nice, and I believe he's also going to be at Morphicon. I mean, I will say hi, but I don't plan on getting the same pictures with the same rangers I've already met. But it's gonna be nice to see all who's all there who I've met already. But it's just so exciting. This gave me a whole Star Wars vibe. Like the Astro Megaship is like a blue version of the Millennium Falcon, and it's like Millennium Falcon, yes. Millennium Falcon in blue, hell yes. The blue is my favorite color. It's just so you know. Um, it's just it was just a lot of fun. Like seeing, even though TJ went from being the Red Ranger to Blue Ranger, which at first I thought was a like, what the hell? He was the leader, and now he's got to get demoted. Damn, that sucks. But he actually embraced the role of the Blue Ranger, I think, a little bit better. Actually, a lot better. He was very strategic in his planning things, especially with the Psycho Rangers. My God, I can't go on enough about the Psycho Rangers. How dangerous and just rough to deal with. And Psycho Red is coming to Morphicon. I can't even stand it. Oh, oh! I wonder if there are any more Psycho Rangers coming. I'm just over the moon. But also Cassie. Cassie's my kind of girl. She knows what she wants. She's just this spunky bohemian kind of girl. I was about to say albino. Okay, but she she's kind of like a rocker kind of girl. What's going on with my camera? It's all blurry. There we go. But she's kind of this rocker chick and rocker vibes, and I was into the alternative scene in the '90s, so it's like she and I definitely could have hung out. And there's Ashley, typical girly girl. She was cool. She was cute, and she was all hung up on Andros. Like, damn girl, like take a cold shower, like for real. But they ended up together, and they were a couple, just like Tommy and Kimberly. And yet to this day, Tommy and Kimberly are the only ones who've had a kiss. Seriously? Come on, writers, what the hell's your problem? But hey, whatever. And that's gonna get me into the whole Wes and Jen thing, and yeah. But yeah, and Carlos, in the beginning he didn't really do much for me when he was on Turbo, but he started getting a lot more into his emotions, and he had this one incident where he accidentally attacked Cassie, and he was just thinking about giving up being a ranger. Like, he actually gave them his morpher and everything, and with the help of Adam, he kind of got his confidence back. Adam Park, he's even though he's not in any of my top 5 favorite seasons, I felt he's worth mentioning. He's a great ranger who could have been a great leader instead of having Tommy come back over and over and over again. But, like I said, beggars can't be choosers. What's done is done. And he did get to come back a few times, like in Operation Overdrive. The only reason I even watched that season. But, again, I don't want to press on to the seasons that I don't care for. Anyway, he definitely grew on me. Carlos, his he was just kind of, still he was just kind of there, but he had some moments where he was just kind of like there was a little bit more to him than just this cocky soccer player kind of guy. And it was just like I don't like green. I don't like the color green anyway. So it's like seeing him as a Black Ranger, it was cool. It's like because at the time it's like we're not gonna make that mistake again of making the black guy the Black Ranger. We're not doing it, even though they did do it again. And and well, we're not gonna talk about that guy because you don't know who that guy is. He's probably the most despicable of single person in Ranger history. I'm just gonna say it. But oh, the villains. Oh my god, Astronema. Hmm. It's like there was nothing silly about her. Like, I talk about Lord Zed all the time, and he was not one to be messed with either. Like, you see Rita and Divatox and King Mondo and Queen Machina. I don't take any of them I don't really take any of them seriously. They were all silly, even though Divatox ended up destroying the command center for good, and Divatox did too. And King Mondo didn't do anything. He literally accomplished nothing during his time in Zeo. He was the most useless character, useless villain I've ever seen in Ranger history. Like, there was never a doubt that he was going to be defeated, and he never lived up to the measure of Rita, Zed, or Divatox. But Astronema, you knew right off the bat she wasn't bullshitting. She was not messing around. And like she sent everything at them, and it's like where do you even go? Like Psycho Rangers, you turn the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles evil. That that was kind of a silly episode, but the fact that you went there, like, okay. And it was just like she was ruthless through and through because she didn't know her past and didn't know that she didn't remember anything from when she was a kid. The biggest surprise since I saw The Empire Strikes Back, which is also why this reminds me of Star Wars, is that it turns out she is Andros's long lost sister, who he's been looking for since they were kids, who was kidnapped by Darkonda, one of the villains who is seemingly working for her. In reality, is he's trying to kill her and Dark Spectre, the main monarch of evil, so he can take over. And it's just like, whoa, like really? His sister? How did I not see that coming? It's like, but it was just like it was something. It was just something there. It was like the signs should have been there, but at the time I was like 12, I didn't see it because I definitely did watch this when it was on the air, and I for it, and also there was Ecliptor, who was also like a hardcore threat to the Rangers, especially the Red Ranger. You could tell they had a long history, mostly of Ecliptor whooping Andros' ass like hard. Like he never had a shot. He attacked him. He attacked Carlos and left him badly hurt, and it was just a lot. And it was but at the same time, while he was evil through and through, he was just like Villamax, a loyal. He was loyal through and through. Loyal to Astronema, loyal to evil, like no matter. Well, not necessarily. I mean, he was just mainly loyal to her because he thought of her as a daughter, and he to the very end, even when they had been reprogrammed to be evil, he still cared for her very deeply, like to the very end. I'm almost sad that he ended up dying when Zordon's energy tube was burst out into the universe, and like, but that finale though, oh my god, that finale was amazing. But I'll get to that in a minute. We also have I kind of got on Dark Honda. He's a snake through and through. He's looking to take over the universe for himself, trying to kill Dark Spectre, who looks exactly like Malagor from the Power Rangers Turbo movie. Like, you didn't change him at all. It's just that you let him talk. Okay, but he talked to. It was kind of creepy, and so it was like. It's like you know what he's about. He's about himself, and he got what was coming to him in the end. And we have the return of Elgar, and Divatox's nephew ended up working for Ashranima, and he was just there, knowing as all anything, just useless character. I don't know why you brought him back, but whatever. He was also gone at the end. It was he was not he just didn't do anything. He said get on everybody's nerves. What's your deal? But there's nothing I can do about that. They kept him anyway. Um, they brought back Bulk and Skull. Like after it's been a year after they graduated with the OG range, the older Rangers, and I'm not sure what they're doing, but they spent the whole time hanging out with this Professor Phenomenus, who wouldn't know an alien if it kicked him in the face. He mistook a watermelon for um, for an alien and a beehive and just all these stupid things. It was just like this fool's ridiculous, but so were they. So it's kind of a perfect match. And in the end, boy, Bulk and Skull came a long way. Like they were just they were just so honorable in that finale, kind of giving us an Iron Spartacus kind of deal, and it almost ended the same way as Spartacus because the Strong was about to kill them all. The Rangers came out, showed them who they were. It's like I can't believe they just now figuring this out, but hey, it is what it is. But it was amazing. The fight scenes were everything. It was awesome. And it was everything a finale should be because that was supposed to be the final season, and it's like, hey, if we're going to go out, we're going to go out big. And they did. And it was so big that there was no way they could cancel it. And I'm glad they didn't because if they did, I never would have got this baby. Ugh. I'm about to get into in just a sec. Oh, Power Rangers Time Force. Man, from the get-go, I felt I've always been a fan of time travels. Ever since I watched Back to the Future, watched all of these shows involving time travel. Lord knows the Flash does his share of time traveling, although it ends up badly the way everybody thinks it does. It's just like that future though. That future doesn't look very good, but that's just my opinion. I would prefer the future of 2015 and Back to the Future too. What that future like that future looked great, awesome hoverboards and everything. I didn't like that. Sure. No, and Jen, the Pink Ranger, my favorite Pink Ranger of all time. She mentioned that they don't have cookies. No cookies in the future. What? No cookies? You don't have cookies? I mean, come on. I mean, I want to talk. I need to stop eating the cookies and everything else, but come on. Like no junk food, like no indulgence whatsoever. That hurts. That hurts my soul. But we get we get right into it, and I'm not sure what's back then. I wasn't sure what's happening because the Red Ranger definitely looks like the Red Ranger from the opening credits. And he's taken on Rancid, one of the, also my favorite villain ever. I mean, as much as you hate him, you can also relate to him because he's hurting. He's been just shunned his whole life for being a mutant. That's not on him, and yet they treated him like garbage. So I can understand his hatred and his anger, but we don't find out till a little later on. So it's like we don't know why he's so angry, but like at first it's like the Red Ranger, his name is Alex, and it's like first of all, enough hair gel there, boss. It's like he's already off putting just a little bit, but he ends up like this is the first time a Ranger couple gets engaged. Like he proposed to Jen right after they captured Rancic and is at his trial, and it's like, whoa, okay, we're getting really adult there, and we did. She said yes, and it's like, but if, but of course, like, how can you capture the main villain so quickly? It's like there wouldn't be reason for an entire season now, would there? It's like you. It's like here comes the trap when you're trying to transport him to the prison. It's like here comes his daughter Nadir, who is uh, so annoying. Another Barbie doll, except unlike Sid, she almost has no redeeming qualities until the very end of the season. But she realizes that humans aren't so bad, and she has that talk with Frax, and she just realizes that this isn't right. This constant hatred going on is bad. This isn't helping anybody. And until that time, she's just this annoying, bratty little girl that just, I mean, she's cute and all, but she does nothing for me. Like, I could have done without her the whole season. There's Frax, that crazy robot who we find out later that he hates Rancic, and it's like, why? It's all like, oh snap, he used to be human and he helped Rancic even though he's a dangerous mutant, and Rancic in return attacks him and leaves him for dead. Like, really? The guy just saved your life. But no good deed goes unpunished, I guess. That's just what it is. And his hatred is also kind of justified. I can't really blame him for being pissed at Rancic. It's like I'd be mad too. This is what I had to be reduced to is a robot. I mean, and he just hates Rancic. He just hated everybody, not just humans. He hated robots and all these other things. Just always disrespecting everybody. And he and Wes, we meet Wes later on. He's also wasn't the first handpicked to be Red Ranger because they already had a Red Ranger in Alex, who is his descendant into the future, and they look like twins, like exactly alike. You can't tell them apart except Wes doesn't use as much hair gel, and Wes is a likable character, unlike his counterpart Alex, who, even though he does love Jen, Like, this guy's still a dick. He's still a major dick. And but we don't know. We don't really know that in the beginning because before the first episode ends, he gets struck down hard and left for dead. And it's like this is not like. And I'm thinking this is nothing like Lost Galaxy when Mike fell in the cave and we think he's dead. Like no, he can't come back from this. He's for sure dead. But turns out he's alive. He comes back and he's a total dick. And I hate him, and I'm glad that Jen dumped him in the end. But but they go after him using a time shift, even though they were fired. So like these things happen. You really think they could have seen this coming? Like that was uncalled for. But that was it just like it left me with more questions than answers at the beginning. It's all like, how did the main character? He's dead. It's like, oh, wait, what? Yeah, in the beginning. So now I finally understood that Wes was Alex's ancestor. So it's like, okay, I get it now. And it was just like I love Wes and Jen. They are some of my favorite characters in the show, and it just like I love their relationship. And when they had to say goodbye to each other, when the whole team had to say goodbye to each other at the end, I cried. I cried like a baby. It was so hard, but I knew it was coming eventually, and I was just like I was so devastated, and I was pissed because they didn't kiss. They confessed their love for each other, and all they gave us was a hug. A hug. Come on. We deserve more than that. They deserved more than that. That whole relationship was beautiful. I mean, even though they technically weren't a relationship, they loved each other. They knew they loved each other, and even when they came back for the Wild Forest team up, they still didn't kiss, and that still frustrated me. Okay, I don't have a lot of time left, but I quickly want to get into some of the other characters. Like Trip, he is a Trip. He's a Zybrianth. He was very good heart and very underrated ranger. You have Katie, who always looks out for him. She's super strong, but only when she needs, and she kind of needs to be. I don't know how that works. And then there's Lucas, classic pretty boy, all about himself. I don't know. There's not really much to him other than that. And then there's Eric, who is, man, he's a case for another story.